Alright, Astro subscribers, welcome back to another video of the Rahu and Ketu series, or the North Node of the Moon and the South Node of the Moon series. Today we're going to be doing North Node in Scorpio and South Node in Taurus. Now this is a very weird placement for the lunar nodes, but it's not as bad as it sounds. So, alright, moving forward, again, just the obligatory introduction. What are the nodes of the moon? What do they represent? They're mathematical points related to areas on the moon's orbit and when the moon is closest to Earth. And because the moon's orbit is an ellipse, there's 2 points on opposite sides where the moon is closest to Earth. And these points have been historically used for calculating eclipses. And so yeah, there are the north and south node of the moon, and in the Vedic astrology system, they're called Rahu being the north node and Ketu being the south node. And what they represent in astrology, because astrology is basically taking planetary bodies and astronomical points and relating them to subpersonalities within the psyche. Rahu is effectively anxiety, it's hunger, it's need, it's immoral behavior. It is desperate to get something, it wants what it wants then, and it doesn't want to wait, and it doesn't want to do the moral path. And it's a reflection of Saturn, because Saturn is effectively anxiety. But the difference is Saturn is anxiety that requires patience, and Rahu is anxiety that wants what it wants right now and doesn't care. It doesn't have the patience to wait 30 years for something, which is how long Saturn generally takes to manifest something. It wants it like in the next minute. So that's Rahu. Now, Ketu is the opposite of Rahu. It's the things that you're already good at. It's your embodied knowledge. It is your the stuff that you don't really need to work at, and when you do try to work at it, it tends to backfire, because it's Ketu's job is to take you away, is to detach you forcibly from what you're already good at and make you focus on the opposite archetype, which is Rahu. So they're always 180 degrees apart. Now, today we're going to be talking about the placement of Rahu in Scorpio, or North Node in Scorpio, and South Node in Taurus, Ketu in Taurus. So what does this do? So South Node in Taurus, Taurus is ruled by Venus. It's an earth sign. It rules things such as anything pleasurable, really. It rules your value judgments, the things you like, whether that's music, food, like art, aesthetics. It's how you judge something's value in terms of just if you like it or you don't like it. So it's a very binary sign. It's like either you like it or you don't, and that's what it is. So either you like ice cream or you don't like ice cream, or whatever it is. That's Taurus. Now, it's also related to money and food and the root chakra, because it's things that you need to survive. It's kind of halfway between the root chakra and the sacral chakra, because obviously you want something to survive, but you also want it because it tastes good, and so you want it for pleasure, and you want it because you need it to keep your physical existence going. So, and then Scorpio is the sign that is the opposite of Taurus. So if Taurus is comfort, pleasure, stability, Scorpio is forced instability. It is, going into a dark cave to see what's there. It is going out of your comfort zone. It is all the things you don't know, that you're scared of, that you want to explore. So that's what Scorpio represents as a sign. So Rahu is very related to the root and sacral chakra, because it's a very animalistic, id, sort of lower chakra type planet. And again, it's best characterized as hunger. So it's actually, Rahu is very at home in the sign of Taurus. But Rahu's not in Taurus in this placement. It's in the sign of Scorpio, which is opposite Taurus. So what happens is that these people with Rahu and Scorpio, they feel the need to, they kind of like eat pain. Like they kind of feel the need to explore every nook and cranny, every avenue of reality obsessively, and figure out what they're always sort of wondering what's in the darkness, what is outside beyond the fire, what is out in the unknown. And they are an explorer, effectively, who explores the unknown because they feel like that's the only place that they will find their value. So Rahu always has self-esteem issues. It always feels unvaluable. And these people feel like by going out into the unknown and exploring and finding some useful information potentially, that they will then be worth something, that they will then be worthy of this endless need for approval that Rahu always has. So, so what happens with South Node in the sign of Taurus? Well, what happens here is, South Node is things you're already good at, so it tries to forcibly detach you from those things. But this doesn't mean that people with South Node in Taurus don't experience pleasure or don't experience, they don't never have enough to eat or that kind of thing. These people, they often get what they want relatively easily because, again, they've already been that wealthy person in their last life. They've already had an excessive amount of things. And what tends to happen is these people will be given things seemingly for no reason. Like, an extreme case is they might win the lottery, or they might win a lawsuit at a certain age that gives them a lot of money, just excess income. And so what Ketu tends to do in this placement is it tends to give people things in a way that they don't have to worry about money as much. Now, Ketu is not going to give you everything you want, but it generally in this placement does give you everything you need. However, because the sign of Taurus tends to need consciousness, like it tends to, people, want to show off what they have, and Ketu will not let you show off anything that you have. So it will tend to give you things in a way where you sort of get this imposter syndrome where you didn't feel like you really earned it. And it will make you not care about material things at all. Like when people start talking about food or money or music, like you always want to know why they like what they like. It's never enough to just like something. It sort of bugs you when people talk about simple pleasures like that. Because the North Node in Scorpio is always going to be looking for the deeper meaning in something. It's like, why do you like that? What is the psychology behind why you like what you like? And the other thing about Rahu is that Rahu likes to be able to look at something and say, hey, I did this. But like I made this, I created this. It needs to feel that self-esteem. But in the sign of Scorpio, which is like an endless black hole of the unknown, Rahu can't really lay claim to its discoveries very easily. So it tends to get frustrated. It's like, why is nobody listening to me? Like these people might have an insane amount of knowledge about a subject that people don't typically know about. Like they might know a lot about the occult, or they might know a lot about conspiracies or aliens or something really outside of the Overton window of what people generally know. Or, they might be really into they might know a lot about serial killers like Jack the Ripper or something like that. But because it's knowledge that is people are scared of it, generally speaking, these people never quite feel like they've got enough knowledge to get that final, that self-esteem that they always crave. So that this can be a very frustrating placement. Because you have all this information and you have all this stuff that's being given to you, but you can't really brag about it. So it kind of forces an ego death in many ways. So all in all, this is a good placement where you don't really have to worry too much about the material things. Although there is always this feeling of I need more information. And, I need to understand more. So there is a desperation that comes along with this placement for acceptance and for more knowledge, and these people can kind of feel like they're on an infinite treadmill. So yeah, that was my analysis of Rahu in Scorpio and South Node in Taurus. And next time I'll be doing North Node in Sagittarius and South Node in Gemini, which is a very interesting placement. So check out that when it comes out. And till then, I'll see you later.